Hey everybody, happy spring equinox, happy Sunday. And on today's episode, we're going to be doing soups. Now, why soup? Well, for one, it's a classic comfort food. It's been around for millennia. Secondly, we recently had St. Patrick's last Wednesday, and it got me thinking about a chef named Alexis Soyer. And this guy was really important in that he was the first to establish soup kitchens during the Irish famine, and he used what he knew to feed thousands of people during a time of stress during their pandemic. So remember, there's chefs in your community that can help. They have talent, they know what they're doing, and they're suffering just like everyone else. But anyways, let's keep it on the positive. Two kinds of soup. You choose. Let's go. So the first soup that we're going to do is puree of celery root, or celeriac. Now it's a pretty funky looking little vegetable, but it's very tasty, slightly fibrous. I'm going to show you how to cook it. First, we're going to need 3 potatoes and about half an onion. Now we're going to peel everything, clean everything up really properly, and get started. So first, we peel our celery root. It might be a bit tough and a bit awkward, but you can do it. Then we chop it into quarters. And then we're going to julienne it. Now if you have a food processor that can do it, go for it. I don't, so I'm using a mandolin food slicer. Just be careful with your fingers. Take your time, and you wind up with a julienne like this. Fine matchsticks. Now when you're handling wet items like the potatoes, watch my fingers. See they're parallel to the blade? No tips will be cut, and you get fine sliced potatoes. And finally, we slice up our onion. So now that all our mise en place is ready, we put the potatoes in cold water so they don't discolor, get a pot of boiling water on the go, and then we'll prep our celery root. We just add it for about 12 minutes on the boil, then we strain it out, make sure all the excess water is gone, and then we'll get ready to cook. So we get a pan on the stove, bring it up to medium, drop in about 2 tablespoons of butter, then we put the heat to low. Add onions and our cooked celery root, we cover it, and we let it cook for about 8 minutes. Afterwards, we remove the cover, and then we drain our potatoes, and we're going to add that along with some hot stock. In this case, it's going to be vegetable stock. I'm going to cook it uncovered for half an hour. Pureed soups are quite comforting. It's just that warm sensation that you get from them. It's good to eat, very simple, and the celery flavor isn't too pronounced in celery root. So I encourage you to try it out. Anyways, the half hour elapsed, and I just put a stick blender in there and puree the whole thing. Quite easy to do. And celery root is complementary to other tart flavors, blueberries, strawberries, all kinds. Very easy to do. So, for my garnish, I'm using a dried apple, like this. The next soup is a vegetable soup with cheese on it. Now I'm using a smoked oka cheese, which is a local Port Salut type of cheese from Quebec. It was originally made by the Trappist monks, but it was bought out by a local co-op. And I'm going to use some local brick cheese. And an onion, which I'll slice. And half a head of lettuce, which I'll slice as well. And of course, stale bread. Oh yeah, and about 2 cups of frozen peas. So you chop your lettuce, shred your cheese, then 2 tablespoons of butter into a pan on the low. We add our onions that are chopped and we cover it. Next, we add our chopped up lettuce, cover it again for 8 minutes. It should look like this when you're done, all wilted and ready to go. And then we add peas, hot stock, and we cook it on medium heat for about 10 minutes. Then we put them in oven-proof bowls, like such. We add some bread, and on top of that, we are going to add our shredded cheese. Now don't be afraid to be generous. It's better than tomato soup and a separate grilled cheese. This is all in one. So we put our cheese down on top of our bread, and then we get ready to broil it for about 6 to 8 minutes. And it should come out of the oven looking like this. Cheesy, soupy goodness. Comfort food during times of hardship. Share, like, and subscribe, people. Hope you have a great week. Spring is here. Cheers.